record, this is as interesting as they get.
I mean, it's as interesting as a morgue. It might be less interesting than a morgue.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS Buzzard Radio.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz. Dressed up like $1 million true.
You know, next week's Cleveland Taco Week. You're missing Cleveland Taco Week, Mary.
That is upsetting.
They don't have tacos in New York.
Never.
At least not authentic ones.
Nope.
Yeah, Cleveland Taco Week. That's pretty exciting.
I want a taco.
I know, right? It sounds good. It is Monday through, well, it's all next week. It's Monday through Sunday. If you've never participated in Cleveland Taco Week, it's when a lot of...
Every week's Cleveland Taco Week.
Yeah! That's right, man. Bill
Not
Squire.
even a sex joke.
Every week is
Just
just
like
simply
tacos.
Cleveland Taco Week. Well, the Bill Squire Friday Get Down, by the way, is within the hour. You won't even have to wait another 60 minutes for that, Mary. And so,
Yay.
maybe you can celebrate with a taco or
Well,
two.
What is your favorite taco? If you could put together a taco, what would it be?
What do I like in a taco?
Like, I think my favorite taco, other than like a very basic ground beef, shredded cheese, lettuce, like basic regular taco, I love a fried fish taco. So like some kind of
yeah, tacos
Yeah.
pescados. Those are good.
yes, like a white fish, fried, not grilled.
Blackened?
No,
Oh.
fried, so crispy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Fried fish, and then like some kind of a slaw, maybe a pickled jalapeno on there, squeeze a fresh lime, a crema, if you will.
I
But
will.
like a fried fish taco is probably my favorite.
My go-to is always tofu and mayo.
What is wrong with you?
You know I hate mayo.
I'm tired.
No,
of
I
you.
don't go crazy with the tacos. I like meat.
I like a carne asada.
What meat
Yeah.
is what I'm asking
Yeah.
you.
What meat?
kind of meat?
Like
if you could create your perfect taco.
I like them all, man. Shrimp tacos are good. I do like the blackened fish tacos are really good. A lot of times chicken tacos taste super rubbery, like the
Yes.
chicken is not good. So that's more of a
When the
gamble.
chicken is good, it's great. Like I actually like a crispy chicken where you get like a chicken tender and chop it up a little bit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Because a
if-
little bit of chicken goes a long way in a taco as well.
Well, my thought is too, if you get subpar beef, it's not going to ruin your day. But like rubbery chicken is just
Yeah.
gross. No, get some cilantro, some veg in there. I don't need a crema or anything like that. Some sriracha.
I like a pickled vegetable on a taco, whether it's
Oh,
like pickled onions
pickled
or
onions
pickled
are so good.
jalapenos or something pickled.
It's
on a
wild how when you travel, how simple. Like first couple times we went to Mexico, because you're so used to like we've reinvented the taco in the United States. You go to Mexico,
And it's $8 for one.
if you're lucky, yeah. And you go to Mexico, it's just like tortilla, vegetable, meat,
a little pico
maybe.
de gallo.
Yes, and it's one of the best. It's so good. Anyway, everybody's doing
I
tacos.
like
next week.
a real simple taco. The birria tacos, those are real good.
Burrito
Oh
tacos?
yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Where you-
Jews at
you-
the
you
bottom,
dip it
and
in
the,
the-
ooh, it's good. Yeah,
Birria.
yeah,
Birria.
Oh.
yeah. Porco was making those for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go get ripped at Porco and eat those burrito tacos on the patio.
Man, I haven't been to Porco in so long.
Little grilled chicken, a little ooh. You can't go wrong, man. I know there's places doing it. They're like, oh, it's a hamburger and cheese, and it's like, okay, fine.
See, I don't
mean,
want that out of a taco. I'm more
No.
adventurous with pizza, where I'm like, like Big Mac pizza. I don't know that I would want a Big Mac taco.
No, that actually sounds
Horrendous. Yeah.
But the thing is, I did love the snack wraps when they had them. Remember the?
So maybe you like a crispy chicken wrap.
No,
You
no,
like
no.
a-
Because they made a Big Mac version of that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and they were pretty good. So
Okay,
all
so
right.
a wrap is just a taco.
Yeah.
A wrap is a white taco.
White person taco.
Why does it got to be white, Mary?
Because it's white.
Like,
It's racist.
because it's,
Lined
you know,
up.
not Mexican.
Oh.
That's the crazy thing to say. Because if you're like, I'm having a chicken Caesar taco,
Yeah.
but it's a chicken Caesar wrap,
Right.
you know?
That's chicken Caesar burrito. The best taco I ever had was actually when I opened for Tom Green in Tampa. There was this place called
Tampa tacos?
Alaskan Tacos or something, like something's Alaskan Tacos, and they had this salmon taco and they would deep fry the shell with all the meat in it, and it was so incredible.
Mema's Alaskan Tacos?
Yes, Mimas.
Mima's
Mhm.
on 8th Avenue in Tampa.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
boy.
closed.
It says permanently closed. Yep.
Mhm. But man, those are some good tacos.
Well, anyway, next week here in Cleveland, another taco week, and there's all kinds of places that will be doing specials and things. On the subject of Mexico, did you see the video of the woman who is yelling? This is an American tourist who's in Mexico and is yelling at people to get out of her private eclipse viewing area that she paid for. Most people have come to the conclusion that this woman got scammed by somebody. But that's not stopping her. Again, I don't know how you have a private viewing area for a celestial event. I mean, we're all looking up, and it's, you know, it's not like if you're across the street, your view is going to be blocked. But this lady is arguing with locals. This is in Durango, Mexico, right there in the path of totality. And she says that she rented the whole area for a private event and that she spoke to the Secretary of Tourism. And but nobody from the local government said they had any record of it. The governor of the area is denying that he rented the space to any tourists. And so this woman is standing there asking people to get out of the way. And there's a local reporter talking to some Spanish adults and children, trying to get to the bottom of it, and talking to her. Of course, she starts screaming at him that he does not have her consent to be filmed.
Well,
The usual American Karen stuff.
it sounds like she went on a website and someone tricked her into renting something.
Right, that's what I think. That's what people are assuming
Yeah.
happened. Why can't you just be nice?
Please leave our private event. There is extra space over here
Unos
for
gringos
you.
corriéndonos de nuestro propio lugar y a gritos, y a
Olivia,
gritos,
Secretary,
y a gritos,
Secretary,
Imagínense
Sí,
nada
está
más
diciendo
lo-
quién.
Lo agresivo, lo agresivo que se están portando.
Está
en
todo-
este momento.
todo filmado.
No, adiós ustedes.
Todo filmado.
Estamos en nuestro país, estamos en nuestra área. Puede respetar que
You know, the sun.
puede respetar que estamos trabajando.
Can you respect?
It's
Can you
for
respect this
everything.
interview, please?
If you do
Can
it
you?
over there, absolutely.
No,
but
no.
not here. And we've said we signed a
Mira,
contract.
mira, mira,
You do not have permission to film me. You do not have permission
mira,
to
qué
broadcast.
grosera, Grábela, grábela.
Private. Over there is the public.
Es un lugar
Es
público.
público.
Es un lugar público.
It is public.
I certainly did.
No tienen autorización.
It is possible.
Why would you travel? I never understand people who travel and then are just dicks to everyone who's there.
Well, because they paid for it and think that they deserve it or are entitled to something because they paid for it. Like in general, like at a hotel. What I've noticed is that I feel like poor people usually act like this. People who can't really afford the vacation to begin with, so like they find everything wrong with it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just my family, but like you're staying at, I'm paying $100 a night to stay here and you can't even give me blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
You know,
listen,
like-
the first time we went to Puerto Vallarta and stayed at this resort, like the little kids of the town would come into the resort and swim in the pools. And I was taken aback at first, but I was like, okay, what am I going to do?
But that would bother people because they're like,
Oh,
they
it
didn't pay
bothered
to
a
be
lot of
here.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I paid to be here. They didn't pay
Yes.
to be here.
Yep. There were a bunch of German and Canadian tourists there. They were none too pleased. Because they're like, what are these little kids, little kids in diapers? It was pretty gross, but I was
Yeah,
like,
real
what are we going
gross.
to do? What am I going to do?
Kick them out.
Kick them out. I'm in their country.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they're
but
not
they're in
in
your
your resort.
resort.
I don't. Oh, yeah, I know, I get it, but I was like,
they're getting
You're
paid.
paying to be there. I mean, I agree with this to a certain degree. That lady, very clearly, you're in a public space. You can't really.
Yeah, it
pay
sounds like
for
she
a
got
certain
scammed
area
out
of
of
the
a
park.
well,
rental space.
and my thought is always too that we all know somebody is gonna complain. It doesn't have to be me, right? Somebody else is gonna pitch a fit and march into the front office or whatever and read them the riot act because we didn't see those kids again. But I just thought it was so funny. I was like, where are these kids? These kids can't possibly be staying here with their families. And somebody made it clear to me. They're like, no, they're local kids who come over in the pool. And I'm like, I'm at the other end. I'm like at this swim up bar, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm half in the bag anyway. But yeah, some of these other international tourists, they were not happy.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that if you don't have enough money to be doing the thing that you're doing, you're going to complain more about it. Whereas, like, if you are staying, but see, then it goes both ways too, because if you're staying at like a real nice place, but see, then it's also like, what do you care? If it's $5,000 a night, you very clearly have the money. So what does it matter if there's someone else there?
I mean, I guess the more you're spending on something, whether you have the money or not, people still feel entitled to whatever they decided to pay for.
Well, this lady, I mean, if she paid for a spot that she thought was going to be private and it's not, I get being like, hey, I thought this was going to be private. It's not. But it sounds like what we all suspect is somebody's just like, oh, yeah, you can pay me.
Yes, because what
you can pay me for this.
What is the value of having a private spot to look up at the eclipse?
No tall people in front of you.
I mean, she's like, across the street is the public area. They're like, no, there's no private and public around here. This isn't America, lady. That's not really how we do things around here. Yeah. Maybe listen, I'm sure no one in the path of totality, those cities, nobody was above making some extra bucks because of the eclipse. So maybe she got scammed. Maybe somebody scammed the town. I don't know. I was reading about a woman down in Florida. Speaking of tacos, a lady in a Florida taco restaurant who tried to withdraw a $1,000 or try to rescind rather a $1,000 tip allegedly because she was telling the waitress the whole time how she was going to be swept up in the rapture during the eclipse. This sounds made up, but it still kind of made me laugh reading the article in that local paper.
Wait, I don't really understand.
Okay, a server at this restaurant, a taco spot in Florida, said that there was this woman who sat down, and she goes, she was really nice, but she just kept trying to preach to me. Jesus-y, 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 about how this eclipse was coinciding with the rapture. There's still people, you're O for $4 million on the rapture, but...
Or maybe there was a rapture and just none of us got raptured.
This woman didn't get raptured.
Everybody's just a piece of crap.
I mean, you'd think if it was a thing, you'd walk around somewhere and see piles of empty clothes, right? You'd be like, oh, my God.
Everybody assumes that the clothes don't go with you, but I think your whole being, including your clothes, would disappear. I think...
Oh, you think the clothes go with you?
No, not even they go with you, but I think they would disappear. I don't think God would just be like, leave the clothes. Like I think.
Yeah, but don't you? But you don't need the clothes. You get a robe up there, right?
I'm not saying what, but I'm just saying God. If God's got the power to rapture you, He's got the power to also deal with your clothes and not just have them fall into a weird pile, weird sad pile.
Well, a few days before the eclipse, so this woman is in this taco restaurant, and her bill came to $40. She left the girl a $300 tip and wrote, in case you don't rise on the 8th. The woman returned a few days later and tipped another server $777.
Okay, so this is a cool lady.
But when the rapture didn't happen, she went back to the restaurant and was adamant, screaming at people that they had faked the tips and blah, blah, blah.
That's so funny.
And the person, a lot of restaurants do this now, where they bring the card reader to the table. She's like, it's impossible to be fraudulent in this situation. I like when they do that.
I love it.
You know, there's still a lot of places where you got to wait for them to take the card and bring it back. We went to this Colombian restaurant when we were in Florida for my father-in-law's birthday, which is actually today, but it was the night before we were leaving. And so we all went out and took him out to dinner for his birthday.
Happy birthday, Papa Gwen.
Right, yeah. Mark Mika Wycheck is 71 years old today. And so, yeah,
I
we
like
all...
Papa Gwen.
Papa Gwen, too. We all took him to dinner and went to this Columbia restaurant that we had been to before and really liked. And the waitress was great, but, you know, they bring the bill, and I put my card in, and it was like 20 minutes before she came back to get the card. I like when they come and they give you the thing. I also like that they have to do that performative look away because they don't want to make it look like they're staring you down for the tip. So they put it in front of you, and then they kind of pretend that they're looking at something else.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you're definitely not going to want to watch this. But I do like that. Anyway, this girl says there's no way that this could be credit card fraud because we bring the reader to the table, and the person decides the tip before, you know. So she's like, this lady is trying to claw back her tip. And she's like, but we've already gotten them with our paychecks, and we have to pay income tax on them. So it's like, we can't return this to her because we don't actually have whatever. I'm going to get raptured. Again, it kind of sounds made up to me, but there are people who believe repeatedly. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. People who believe they're going to be raptured, and it consistently doesn't happen, never happens because it's made up, but people who believe it and think it's going to happen, and I'm not quite sure what they're waiting for.
When I was in college, there was talks of a rapture. I don't remember which one. So this is
Talking from whom? In what community?
In the, online, when everyone's like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember what global
event
not
was
at
happening.
College,
just when you were in college.
No. What
yeah.
global event was happening somewhere between, it was probably around 2010 would be my guess.
Yeah.
2009 to 2011 era. And I was so worried about it because I was freshly out of the church, right? I had just stopped going like a year or two before.
October 21st, 2011.
That was when people thought the rapture was going to happen?
Well, there was some guy who really took off on some Christian radio network and said that 200 million people were going to be raptured. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so that might have been it. But I was so worried about it and so conflicted about where my soul was going to go that I remember I called my brother sobbing because I was like, I haven't been living my life right, and if this rapture is real, like, I'm not going to heaven, and like, I don't know what to do. And my brother like prayed with me on the phone and like talked me down for like an hour. Like, it's okay, we'll fix it. You just gotta let me help you, and you know what to do. We've come from this. But I was like legitimately scared, like fully believed the rapture was coming, and if I didn't repent, then I was going to hell.
I guess I didn't realize you were still fully into the Jesus thing when you were in college.
I didn't stop going to church until I was like 18. I did not stop going to church regularly until I was probably 18 or 19 years old. I was still going to church.
Was this at the very beginning of you being in college?
The rapture thing?
Yeah.
Or when I stopped going to church?
The rapture thing.
Well, I mean, you go into
rapture
college
thing-
around the age of 18, right? I mean,
I went to church. I went
But
to
you
college
still
from-
believe you weren't going to, like, you didn't stop going to church because it was just like, oh, I'm in college now. It's not my.
I didn't
the
have a
forefront of my
car.
mind.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
That like I couldn't drive myself
But
to
you
church
still
every week.
believed enough.
I still
to be
believed.
Like,
I didn't really start falling off and like not going and not believing. That happened over the course of college. That's when I started to really have it out with my one brother, who was like born again and just the worst Bible beater you could ever talk to. Every conversation was, "You're out here drinking. You're living your life wrong." So honestly, I probably didn't like fully stop writing off church people until like my early 20s, really. Over the course of college. But yeah, it must have been that 2011
we talked about
rapture.
that guy at the time. Harold Camping was the guy. He was this Christian radio host, and he told everybody who would listen. It made he got a lot of coverage on this, that the rapture and judgment day were going to take place on May 21st, 2011, and that the end of the world would take place 5 months later.
So that I'm guessing that had to have been it.
Yeah. Of course, he was making it all up. But these guys, it hasn't stopped these guys from
how
doing
do you know?
Because he admitted to it later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Harold Camping. I wonder where that guy is now. Wonder if he's still alive. I wonder if life raptured him. Oh, he died a couple of years later. Yeah, 92
Natural causes?
in 2013 in Alameda. I got a break here. We got the Bill Squire Friday Get Down straight ahead of you. That is how we get the weekend underway around these parts. If you want to send a text for anything else, 35192.